So where are the $200,000 plus opportunities really hiding? That's what I want to jump into for those of you who are highly tenured and you're a minority. It's your season because organizations throughout tech and even in green energy are looking for real diverse leaders because it impacts their ESG scores. So let's get into it. How many years of experience do you have with your industry? If you come from oil and gas and you've been in the game for 20 years, you are more than welcome to leadership opportunities, even if you don't have the title officially. The question is, who do you carry? Who do you support? What skill set do you have that's trending? What skill set do you possess that you notice is in demand? If you don't know, just stick around. I'll go over that. And what is your work history? What other companies do you come from? Tech is a new and an emerging industry, so they are looking for people with diverse backgrounds, and they don't really look down on those of you who have a background where you maybe worked with 4 or 5 companies. A lot of millennials and Gen Xers are expected to jump from company to company, especially with the impact of COVID. Which one fits your goal? Do you have tenure in the same industry? For example, if you say, hey, Daniela, I've been in banking for 15 years, but with change management, because that's a trending skill set, I have about 8 years of change management. That's how you want to make sure you're listing that out in your headline to get to the point. With 15 years of industry in the financial banking world, I have a 8-year dedication in this role specifically geared towards developing change management processes. So that shows them, wow, you're not a lightweight. And it also gets to the point of how well tenured you are with a specific skill set that's trending. So let's go a little bit deeper. What if you're all over the place? No problem. So if you say, Daniela, I actually have 15 years in oil and gas, but my work history in total is 25 because I was 15 years in oil and gas. I had 5 years as a property manager and 5 years in retail. And then one of the things that I noticed that's trending is risk assessing. And so what I would say is this: focus on what you want to pivot in and make sure you're showing your expertise in that said area. And so this is how I break things out for my clients and how I break things out in my Patreon workshops, so that when recruiters look at your profile, they know exactly what they're getting from you. Wow, you're highly tenured. You have a strong background. You're familiar with the workplace. You know, you've been working with the C-suite and executive teams. You have some roots in your industry. So if this person were to pivot into green energy, it would be perfect. If this person said, the last 6 years I spent primarily focused on risk assessing, and one of the main things about this role is that you are a risk assessment manager, that really helps you stand out because it shows that you have a dedication and a sensitivity and awareness on the focus of risk assessing. So you use what you need, and the rest we will put in your resume or reword some type of way to still pivot you in that direction. So LinkedIn starts the conversation. If you don't know what LinkedIn is for, LinkedIn is not your resume. It starts the conversation. Optimization gets recruiters to come look at your profile to say, wow, you are linked, or you are a match. Remember, LinkedIn is usually something they skim through, but they start with the headline. So make sure you completely fill it out, because as they get interested, they keep reading. Another thing I want you to think about is your resume provides a foundation. If you're getting someone to write your resume and they are not giving you a career assessment, you will waste your money, because your resume is set up to build a foundation. If you have 15, 20, 25 years plus, you should have an executive style resume, or what I like to call a performance portfolio, which is what I do with my clients, because it showcases validation. It also establishes your expertise. And it also pivots you in a direction that works best for you. Focus. Don't be all over the place. And so if you have a background in customer service and you're applying for a customer service role, make sure your headline says that. If you're saying, well, Daniela, I come from non-renewable, I come from oil and gas or geoscience, I'm an engineer, that's great. But again, what's the focus? Where are you pivoting in tech? And if you don't know what I mean by that, make sure you attend one of my master's classes where I break that down. All industries are adjusting. So for those of you with a finance background or some type of accounting background, banking or whatever, you still have a place. And so if you're applying for jobs in fintech companies, you need to showcase your fluency in the world of finances. So ask yourself the following: where do you want to go? Are you passionate about this direction? Listen, the market is in a place where it's booming. So make your pivot intentional. I have my own company because my pivot to working in my own company and having my own company was intentional. I come from oil and gas. I pivoted into tech with my company. And so if you're saying, Daniela, I want to pivot into, I really want to pivot into leadership on the customer side. I really want to pivot into executive leadership on the engineering side. Make sure you're clear before you start messing with your LinkedIn or before you let somebody touch your resume. Where can your skill set take you? So we're not talking about the certifications and what you're going back to school for, and you read a book for this in a class. No. What skills do you have years of experience with? We want to put that in the front and let that be the driver. What's the goal? Really think about what your goal is. I always like to tell people we have to be very clear on what the vision is. If you say, Daniela, I have over 20 years of tenure, I'm ready to start making $200,000 and up. You let me know. So we're looking at executive leadership roles. Perfect. What do you want to do in executive leadership? You need to map that out. And as cheesy as this may sound, you really need to be clear on what you want to do, or the tech industry and the whole idea of pivoting will overwhelm you. Okay. So if you want more, if you want me to show you how to break all of this stuff down into bites and you put it in your LinkedIn so you can begin your pivot and really make about 200,000 or above. I am a former VP. I know that is very possible. When I left corporate America, I turned down the invite to the C-suite. And so I know there are a million women out here who are making a lot of money, and it's not just pivoting into tech. So if you want more, make sure you join my Patreon or attend one of my master's classes. The links to join is below. I go over everything from how to optimize, who's hiring, what's going on the market. One of the reasons I focus on Wall Street Journal is because if you're interviewing for leadership roles, they want to make sure that you are market fluent in what's actually taking place right now. So I look forward to seeing you in the program. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you follow me on my Instagram, on my Twitter, on my Facebook, or on my YouTube channel, where I'm hosting free sessions all of the time. Hope to see you there. God bless.